Gold Cup. I with Polyantus, and Redemption on the outside makes a mistake at the very first fence. Carl Llewellyn will be praying for Redemption. In fourth is Cypher Malta, Fondmort, and then Exit Swinger, Young Spartacus on the inside. It Takes Time is well off the gallop in the blue cap there. Made a fiddly little error in the hands of Tony McCoy. Risk Accessor is last. The two David Johnson runners, just to repeat, in the whitish cap is Cypher Malta. It Takes Time in a blue cap as they clear fence number 3. Well strung out, and I taking them along at the usual good pace in this race. 4 or 5 lengths to last year's runner-up Polyantus in second, and then a gap of 7 lengths to Redemption on the outside of the dual winner Cypher Malta in 4th place. 5 is Fondmort, then from Exit Swinger, Young Spartacus, Risk Accessor, and finally It Takes Time in last place of the 9 runners. Turning their heads towards the next 2 plain fences now. I clear of Polyantus approaching this plain one. Landing third with Redemption on the outside of Cypher Malta, then Fondmort. Exit Swinger in the yellow sleeve jacket. The whitish jacket on Young Spartacus as the leader climbs over the next Risk Accessor towards the inside, and It Takes Time is still the back marker. Longish run then towards the next, fence number 6. And I at full pelt here in the hands of Lee Vickers. Also better known perhaps for winning round the likes of Sutherland, Stratford. He's leading the Paddy Power Gold Cup field from Redemption on the outside of Polyantus. Fondmort travels kindly in 4th place wide of Cypher Malta, and then Exit Swinger. Next is Young Spartacus, held up well off the pace, the Mildmay Fleet winner, followed next on the inside by Risk Accessor, and lastly still the champion jockey biding his time on It Takes Time. In front of the stands then, heading towards fence number 7, the one before the back straight, and boys, I is setting a strong pace here.
Yeah, well, it's a good even gallop anyway. He's been jumping well, and so's Redemption, touchwood, at the moment, but I haven't seen anything make any really bad mistake, Norman.
No, Mick Fitzgerald got the perfect posse on Fondmore around the end or 4th, 5th. You'll see Tony McCoy will go wide now from here on and try and make up a little bit of ground before they quicken. But Timmy Murphy also to back Risk Accessor, still trying to get him to settle a little. Very good racing prospect. Mick Fitzgerald for me as the posse.
Cypher Malta quite badly outpaced, turning away from the stands, and is just struggling to stay in the race at the moment, Roddy Green, as they jump the water jump now. Cypher Malta's dropping back to the rear, only with a couple behind. Redemption, it looks as though Carl Llewellyn's got a slipping saddle on the wide outside. He's pulling him out as they go towards the next open ditch. Redemption pulled up there and out of control. It looks as though the equipment has let Carl down, and it's I in front of Polyantus from Fondmort on the inside in third. Young Spartacus, Risk Accessor, a good jump there, moving up. Then behind these, It Takes Time wide of Exit Swinger. Cypher Malta on the right there, being pushed along, scrubbed up, and the old horse may just have lost a bit of speed. Perhaps he'll come into his own in the latter stages. This is a big open ditch going up the hill. I and Polyantus, they take it together. Young Spartacus, a slight mistake there, drops back to about 5th place with Cypher Malta behind him, and then Exit Swinger as they make the top turn, and it's Polyantus that strides on into the lead now in the hands of Ruby Walsh, with I in second. Fondmort is third. Risk Accessor as they start to run down the hill. It Takes Time moving up with every chance now on the outside, and then behind these is Young Spartacus as they run down towards the third loss. Polyantus, Fondmort still goes well in the hands of Mick Fitzgerald. It Takes Time on the outside. Young Spartacus trying to reel them back over 3 out. They're followed by Risk Accessor, who travels ominously strongly. I on the inside, and they've beaten off the others, including Cypher Malta and Exit Swinger, down towards 2 out. This is a tricky fence. Polyantus on the right, Fondmort on the left. They take off together, and Polyantus, and down there Risk Accessor, and It Takes Time, both on the deck at that same fence. They round the corner, and Fondmort now is given the rein by Mick Fitzgerald. Polyantus is driven hard in second place in the hands of Ruby Walsh, and they are well clear of I, and then Young Spartacus, and it's Fondmort that draws to the final fence with a 4-length lead. Great jump. Polyantus chasing. He was second last year, and it looks like second again, because Fondmort is powering up the Cheltenham Hill. It's Fondmort and Mick Fitzgerald, 7 or 8 legs clear. He's far too good. Fondmort wins the Paddy Power Gold Cup in tremendous style. In second is Polyantus. A long way back in third is I. Fourth then Young Spartacus. Cypher Malta was staying on up up the run-in, and he's pretty close in 5th in the end. Maybe he wants further now. Exit Swinger was the last to complete. Well, once again, drama at the second last fence here, with both Risk Accessor and It Takes Time hitting the deck, but it surely made no difference whatsoever. Mick Fitzgerald has had an armchair seat all the way round on this 7-year-old, who won here last December with a spectacular jump at the final fence. It wasn't needed this time. Tony McCoy and Timmy Murphy clearly none the worse for their tumbles, but they didn't look like winning in all truth when they came to grief at that bogey fence. It's Mick Fitzgerald's race, Fon Mort the winner, Leslie's with the winner.
I think your only problem there, Mick, was whether you were going to pull him up.
I didn't have any worries about pulling him up. He's Johnny Worrell summed it up, our Travelling Head lad. He said, looking at the horses going around the pre-parade ring, this lad looked like Mike Tyson ready to fight. Fair play to the boss and to Vicky, actually, who looks after him. You know, this is her baby.
The horses are in cracking form, and the race set up really nicely for you. You had a good posse all the way around.
Yeah, there was quite a lot of horses dropping in, and I wanted to, but I thought, what's the point? I'm just as well leaving where he is, where he's happy.
Well, the boss can't have any complaints here. The big race of the day, onwards and upwards. Absolutely.
It's so nice to be back for me, and it's nice to ride big winners for Nicky.
I don't think he'll be letting you go hunting on this one, though.
I doubt it.
Well done.
Well, the last best placing for a Nicky Henderson runner in this race was 25 years ago. He was second in 1978 with Zongalero, but he wins it today with Fon Mort. He's the 3-1 favourite, ridden by Mick Fitzgerald. Second was number 2, Polyantis, gambled on course, but just didn't become favourite. He's 7-2, and a brilliant debut runner for Michael Chapman in II. He comes third at 33-1.
Mick Fitz coming back down the horse walk on Fon Mort. Did it after the triple print last year, now has done it after the Paddy Power. Nicky Henderson, his usual slightly shell-shocked look, but absolutely delighted. They got this horse spot on with that racecourse gallop at Kempton the other day. And Fon Mort, a masterclass in riding this course by Mick Fitzgerald. Norman Williamson said at the top of the show, position, 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 it's vital. You want to be handy 4th or 5th. That's where he was, on the inside the whole way around. He read the script, he followed the script. It was a winning script. Despite the grief behind him, I don't think it affected the result. And Mick Fitzgerald and Nicky Henderson, one of the top teams at Cheltenham, have triumphed in the Paddy Power Gold Cup.
Yeah, it comes very natural to these good jockeys, but I said it halfway through the race, Mick Fitz did have the perfect posse, and he's riding really well and rides for a great team, and good training performance. This horse had a nasty fall last year with me in Kempton and came back from it, but we saw a couple of falls at the second last, and both were travelling quite well.
But we'll come to that in a moment, Norman. We were just talking about the scenes. Mick's on a high. He's just ridden a huge winner. You just said to me there's no bigger buzz in racing than this.
There's no bigger buzz than turning around the top of that and walking down that track in front of 20,000 people, and funnily they are all screaming at you, or it seems like it, and it really is. It's something special, and Fitzy will enjoy this every time.
Been a good week, 1000th winner.
1000th winner, riding great, and hell of a nice guy. Puts a lot of dedication into his weight as well.